The understanding of condoms distributed in high schools. At the end of my speech, the audience will be able to understand why condoms should be distributed in high school. I believe that condoms should be issued in high school to provide protection against STIs, AIDS, pregnancy issues, and even emotional problems that sex can create. Did you know that 34% of teenagers will have one pregnancy before the age of 20? Teen Health. If 34% of teenagers have one pregnancy before the age of 20, should we provide some kind of help to these young women to stop their pregnancy epidemic? Not only just pregnancy, but unprotected sex creates AIDS, STIs, herpes. The importance of teenagers getting pregnant or being protected from pregnancy is planning for our future generations. If we can protect our generations, we protect our future. Condoms should be distributed throughout high schools to allow for students some protection or at least knowledge of the protection against pregnancy or even STIs and diseases. Abstinence just does not happen anymore. The only way to protect is to provide the information and to provide safer sex options. Abstinence in this type of generation just does not happen. Education and safer sex options can be a teenager's only way out. It can help teenagers save lives, actually. STIs and pregnancies can completely change a teenager and change their course of life. Sexually transmitted disease or infections can completely corrupt someone's high school life. Sexually transmitted disease such as syphilis, gonorrhea, STIs, genital warts, herpes, AIDS. Pregnancy in high school also creates a huge emotional turmoil for some students because not only do you have the baby coming, but you have other people judging you and to face other people, period. Education on safer sex is what high schools need because that's the generation that the pregnancy is happening in. Condoms being issued by counselors from ages of youth from 13 to 21 would completely help schools and communities. It would decrease unprotected sex with pregnancy, and it would decrease the amount of risky HIV and AIDS victims. Sex is happening at a younger age each year. There's 6th graders getting pregnant in middle school. We need to stop this epidemic, this huge issue going on. Condoms need to be distributed because pregnancy can change someone's whole life. Just using a condom can prevent a whole life being taken away and another one given. As a mother, your whole life is no longer yours. It is you and your child's. Condoms can provide safer sex for high school students by also helping to not spread STIs or the risk of AIDS. Condoms can provide safer sex options. They can provide less transmitting disease and make them less prevalent. STIs become less readily available among high school students. AIDS become less readily available among high school students as well. Pregnancy becomes less of an option. I mean, it's not fully decreased or gone, but it's diminishing and can be diminished with the knowledge or the distribution of condoms. When you have a child, your life is no longer your own. It's yours and your child's, no matter what. Or it's your child. You live through your child. You live for your child. When you're pregnant in high school, your life no longer becomes yours. High school students have to act like pregnancy or having a child is a second job, because it is. It becomes that. And not that it's a bad thing, but it becomes that. High schoolers can be vicious and cruel to pregnant teenagers or mothers with children. The distribution of condoms can create a healthier environment. Treating high school students like adults can also be creating a healthy environment because you no longer have to act like they're not doing it. They are doing it, but you need to stop the epidemic. We need to completely understand and acknowledge that they're doing adult behaviors. And by taking this option, or by taking the unknowledge away from them, we create a safe environment where people can talk and express what they need, and or the education of what they need. And it creates healthy, happy environment. Well, not happy, but better environment. In a moment, your life can be taken away from you, because one moment of pleasure, the next time you think of having sex, why not use a condom and feel safer? Sex is an adult act that many people think they can just do. Many high school students are not ready for the need of a child. They're not ready for having a child. To be educated in sex ed is so much healthier, and to have the condoms being issued just in case of an accident is so much better than just completely avoiding the option. High school students need to realize that sex is an adult act, and emotions and actions that teenagers are not prepared for. So that's why they need to be educated about condoms and about safer sex options, and high schools need to provide this information, because some children are not getting it from home like they need to. Condoms can also provide less teen pregnancies, less STIs, and condoms can also provide a lot more than just stopping pregnancy. It causes a lot of less drama, a lot of less turmoil. I mean, I'm not saying drama's going to stop, but drama is definitely not going to be as prevalent, because you're no longer fighting over baby mamas and whose daddy was with who. Finally, I think that the reason condoms should be distributed to help high school students stop the risk of unprotected sex is that it helps against pregnancy, it helps against unprotected sex, it helps against the risk of STIs or AIDS, and it helps against young girls not prepared for the emotional turmoil or their whole lives changing. Condoms need to be distributed in high school to be an open environment, and that will help fight against teen pregnancy as well as younger generation getting STIs. If 34% of teenagers have one pregnancy before the age of 20, to provide help for these young people, we need to provide education, and by education we need to allow them a way of safer sex if they can no longer choose abstinence.